Hey, man, did your team make playoffs? Because my team made playoffs.
Yeah, my team made playoffs. How about your team?
No.
Oh, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Allegedly a Podcast. I am Lucas, and today we will be talking about playoff hockey. Today is April 19th. The playoffs start, is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. And today I have our resident hockey guy, Jack Abel. And
framed right, hockey guy.
Big hockey guy. And today I have my cousin, who is one of the co-hosts on a podcast called Hole Shots and Breakaways, Gannon Prolon. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
First time on the show. Hopefully not last. So happy to have you here because obviously I invited you here because I knew you know hockey, and I'm not as knowledgeable about hockey, and I always feel like when Jack's here talking about hockey, I'm just kind of there, the brick wall, kind of trying to throw stuff. So hopefully this will be a little more entertaining this time because we have two hockey guys now so that they can bounce stuff off each other. So very happy to have you both here. And, we're gonna kick this off with we're going to run down Jack's predictions. Let's see how good of a hockey guy he is. So If you didn't see the first episode, we did a preseason episode where Jack came on here. He gave us our predictions for both the Eastern Conference out of the Atlantic and the Metropolitan, along with wild cards. And then he also obviously gave us the predictions for the Western Conference, the Central, the Pacific, and the two wild cards there. So we're gonna kick it off. Well, let's run down the old Eastern Conference.
So
let's start in the Atlantic.
Before we go in, do I get any bonus points if I have them right, but they're not in the right position?
If you have at least the top three that made it, I feel like I'm willing to say that's a win.
Okay.
Like you don't have. I was gonna say there's not really a contest, but if you were able to get the top three, I feel like that's a win. So let's go through the Atlantic, just for people keeping track. The top three teams to finish in the Atlantic were the Florida Panthers, Boston Bruins, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jack, who did you predict would make it out of there?
Toronto, so I wasn't far off.
Mm-hmm.
Florida and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay made that first wild card spot, so that wasn't too far off. Too bad. I mean, pretty spot on. I had Boston as the first wild card team, so you just swap them in there, and it's fine. I didn't think Boston would be as good as they ended up turning out to be, and that's fine. I mean, following a record-breaking year last year, you thought there'd be some kind of decline, but I mean, really didn't seem. They just kept going, and it was.
I feel like Gannon might be the expert on this part here.
Yeah, I mean,
give that away.
I'll just say by the goaltending, just with the record-breaking year, the goaltending tandem never broke up anything. So I would say that the goaltending definitely helped.
As an outsider, I was very shocked that one of them didn't get traded for sure. I thought Ullmark was going to be gone for sure because it seems like they kind of leaned more into Swayman. But that'll be a big thing in the offseason.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Are you able to keep both of them again or no?
See, and I definitely thought Allmark was gone because Swayman's only 24.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be 25, and he's getting into a solid stretch where he's starting to get elite and starting to be the starter, kind of taking the load.
But it must be really nice, though, having two goalies you really trust because the Wings had three that I didn't trust. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, it just shows in the league if you have a goalie, one goalie or even two that you trust, I'd be willing to bet you probably pay a little more just to try and keep them, just because you never know with goalies.
Oh yeah, 100%. And with the injuries now, and like New York, for example, they have one elite goalie, and then they have Charlie Lindgren, which. He's a little on the iffy side, but still.
Lindgren's in Washington. their backup's quick. And
Wrong Lindgren, brother. Yeah, that's right. It is quick.
But that's a great setup too. I mean, we'll get to the Rangers.
We can move on there. I just feel like that's a good way to segue into it. So the Metropolitan, the top 3 teams to come out of there, we have the New York Rangers, Carolina Hurricanes, and the New York Islanders. 2 New York teams coming out of there.
This one was kind of a swing and the miss with one of them. So I had Carolina and the Rangers, and then the Devils. The Devils were bad. That was not shocking. They really struggled. Injuries, again, didn't help them. But they were a real anomaly. I thought, especially after last year, they would take that next step. Their young guys are buzzing, and it just seemed like they could never keep it going. I mean, they finished, I think, 38 and 39, so, I mean, they were 500 the whole year. They just could never string together, sets of games where they could really bank points. I mean, their goals were about the same, goals for and against, so swing and the miss, the Islanders, they finished the year hot. I mean, they kind of came out of nowhere and really, we were talking before how no team wanted to really take that East, those last spots in the East. Yeah. The Islanders just kind of were like, you guys fight it out the wild card. We're going to go win.
Yeah, and they did. They figured it out, especially late in February, March, and now into April. They're still on a tear.
I mean, you saw it last year with Florida in the first round. It's the NHL. It feels like is the one sport where if you just make playoffs, you never know what can happen.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to get a seat and
100%.
Never know what can happen. So the Islanders and then the wild card. We're not gonna talk about the wild card. That hurt.
Well, bad news. Who were your 2 wild cards out of the East?
So the 2 wild card was Boston and Detroit. And then it ended up being Washington and the Lightning.
Yeah.
So, again, Lightning, I mean, what sucks for the Lightning and the Red Wings is 2 of the best teams in the NHL are in the same division. So you're automatically out competing for that 3rd spot with the Panthers and Bruins. Lightning, I mean, they may be getting older, but they have the guys. They have the pedigree. Yeah. So nothing can. And then Detroit for a week had me believing that they were a team of destiny.
Yeah.
The first game against Montreal, game 81, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna do it. We're there. We just gotta win. And then 3 seconds to go, we score, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna do it. And then I turn on Philly.
Yep.
And then Philly pulls their goalie, and I just saw my life crumble in front of me. I have never I'm sorry, I know this is
you're
but
fine.
I need to get this out.
No.
After that game, the Wings won, but it hurt because I have never been able to. I just didn't know how to feel. My team scored 3 seconds to go to save our season, and 10 minutes later, I have an empty feeling. What was the point? And so that was.
I just want to make it very clear too. I watched that the game before the last game. Game 81. I watched that and I about lost my mind because I'm like I gotta support Jack here because my team's in. I gotta support. I want to see the Wings in. But watching that game, I lost it. I was like, no way. And then
Lucas Raymond.
Raymond.
You give him whatever he wants.
What a goal! Can we just talk about that?
The game 81. I saw that. I went nuts. I was running, and then the kid's he's 21 and he's becoming a superstar. And then we're going in the last game in Montreal, following that, and we did everything we could. That's all you can say.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I watched that Flyer game because that was the thing. I'm like. Because I told Jack, I got you, bro. So I'm going to watch this game for you.
So, just the part that made it worse, too, it'd been one thing, if the Flyers lost, 3 goals, just got dominated. That's okay. That's fine. But what made it worse is the Wings score 3 seconds to go to tie it and save their season. You cut to the Philly game right as they're pulling the goalie because they need to win in regulation.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I'm sitting there to myself. I'm like, no, don't do this. No. And then TJ Oshie scores. And it was just I know there were still 2 minutes to go. They could do something, but I was just at that point,
Jack became the most anti-Philadelphia fan of all
like
time.
I just didn't know how to feel because I know I should have been happy. Like, we did this, but it was like you could just it hurt. But that's hockey, so it's fine. I'll get over it eventually.
Maybe. There's always another season. I know that doesn't mean much.
Doesn't help right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying.
Especially when the Rangers are gonna drop 4 on the Capitals. It's gonna be a sweep, and I'm gonna be like, maybe we could have been us. At least maybe we could have got 1 or 2. Like, we're better than this Washington team, but
now you can just bet the whole playoffs now.
just not worry about it. Yeah.
Well, before we move out of the West, let's talk about the East. Who was the biggest surprise this year in the East? Because obviously, just by my tally here, you went 50% on who was going to make the playoffs for the East in wild card and the divisions. Which team surprised you the most?
I mean, you just look at the top of the East. It's all like the teams you'd really think. I think, if anything, the matchups in the first round are going to be really good. So it's like you have Florida against Tampa Bay. You have the Battle of Florida.
Yeah.
That's going to be something because the Lightning are still trying to say, like, we still got our guys. Like, don't forget about us. When Florida, the upstarts, they're like, we're trying to prove not, like, last year wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
So those will be good games. I mean, honestly, it's either the Islanders really making that run late, and to me personally, the Bruins. I mean, I thought for sure losing Bergeron would be a bigger hole. You guys wouldn't be able to recreate stuff, and that's what I mean, 109 points is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was honestly the big thing, is that you kind of just locked down that spot and just never gave it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
again,
anyone
and
really surprise you?
Well, I would say that it's got to be the Islanders, that stretch that they had. I mean, just like we were talking, they just kind of put the Jets on and they stayed on. So I think that the Bruins, they surprised me a little bit, but I knew with that goalie tandem.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
the goalies will take you.
But yeah,
sure.
Bergeron in front of the net, missing a good center. That's why the center depth is just bad. So I thought it was going to be a lot worse. When I listened to the first episode, I agreed with you on
it was like,
on the East.
Because it was not just the game. It was like Bergeron was a cornerstone of that team for a decade.
Yeah.
And to just lose that leadership and then continue, like, not miss a stride is really cool. It was really interesting to see.
Absolutely.
I agree 100%.
Okay. Bruins and Islanders, I was going to say. Well, just for everyone here that's listening and or watching, we're going to talk playoffs, but we're going to go through. We got to see how good Jack is at his prediction skills.
Before we cut away to the West, can we just shout out Austin Matthews, 69 goals.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the most.
Nice.
I mean, the most goals since 1992.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Wasn't the
70 almost 70 goals in 2024 with the level.
Yeah,
It's
the last
crazy.
wasn't the last guy to score that many. It was wasn't it Lemieux?
Lemieux,
It was
in 92,
I'm like, and
93.
that's not a name you just throw around either. Mario Lemieux, Super Mario.
But also the 140 points, like Nikita
For
Kucherov.
Kucherov, yeah. I
Or
mean, it's just
144,
score-
I mean.
100 assists too. He joined
Yeah.
McDavid. Here's a fun fact.
And he's
for
got
you.
40 goals.
This will blow increase your hockey knowledge. Okay.
Okay.
Before this year, there were 3 players in NHL history with 100 assists.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me if you've heard these names before. Okay.
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, and Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
In this 1 year, we've added 2 more.
That's crazy.
Nikita Kucherov, like you said, 40 goals and 100 assists.
Jeez.
Insane numbers. And then McDavid, 100 assists and 32 goals. I mean, scoring in the league is crazy, and those guys are superstars.
Yeah. Connor McNasty.
McJesus.
I was gonna say he is the second coming.
Yeah, definitely.
With
God,
that,
it must
said,
be
good,
nice
good.
it must be so great being an Edmonton fan, and you could just get to watch him every day.
Yeah, but
That must be so great.
yeah, it must be. I don't know. Well, that's it. I guess we'll move over to the Western Conference. Let's start in the Central. Finishing in the top 3 in the Central, we had the Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, and Colorado Avalanche. Jack, who'd you have?
not that. Dallas. Dallas. Or no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I got to pull it back. I had the Colorado Avalanche, the Stars, and then swing and the miss on the Minnesota Wild. That wasn't great.
Yeah,
They finished 11 points out. They were not close.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought they were gonna be better. And I know the Wild, didn't they just extend Fleury?
This is his last year apparently, so that'll be cool. They'll definitely do something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out.
Fleury's a legend.
Yep,
absolutely.
absolute legend.
Cost me that 09 cup. Still not over that. Still not over that.
Yeah, I don't think you're over a lot of things that has happened to the Red Wings.
He's caused a lot of heartbreak.
No, he has. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's a legend. But yeah, the Wild really not good. Dallas coming up. I mean, so
I feel like
I thought the Avs were going to have this division on lock, and then the Stars just coming out of nowhere, getting 113 points. I mean, almost putting up 300 goals.
Yeah,
is crazy. Like,
they're
a team to watch for because they could be really good. And
I feel like this. Not to cut you off, I'm just saying that I feel like the Stars the past couple of years, again, not being the most expert hockey analyst, I feel like the Stars the past couple of years have been getting into the playoffs pretty convincingly. The past couple of years, I don't have they had the teams that could actually win the cup. I feel like that's been the hit or miss.
So they're off that is they were always people's trendy pick to win the cup. Like they're not the top level favorites. They're like if they can get a favorable matchup, they could.
Yeah.
And I guess now, guys. They're just hitting form, and I mean the top team in the West get home ice, which is huge. So playoffs are going to be fun in the West. I think. That the West is way more wide open than the East.
Yeah, and because you say that, I feel like last year, even talking preseason hockey, we talked about how just. The East was just so dominant. Like, you looked at the point totals in the East, and you were like, holy cow. And you looked at the West, they're like, what hockey are they playing?
Yeah,
they were like 20 points behind. Like, it was crazy.
Just a rock fight. But it's like this year, I mean, helped having Chicago, Anaheim, and San Jose kind of bottoming out.
Yeah.
So it gave a lot of teams a lot of points, which helped build them up. But, yeah, good for them.
Absolutely.
Good for Dallas. Should be interesting to see how they handle that. Yeah, definitely. Finally have the expectations on them instead of being the underdog.
Okay, moving on to Pacific. We had the Vancouver Canucks, the Edmonton Oilers, and the LA Kings. Jack.
So I had the Oilers and the Kings close, and then I had Vegas as the third spot. I mean, what? They only finished 1 point out of that third spot to the Kings, so that wasn't terrible. Vancouver kind of coming out of nowhere. Really out there. I mean, Thatcher Demko's becoming is a Vezina Trophy finalist. Quinn Hughes is probably winning the Norris as the best defenseman. And, I mean, they just have studs. So, that was a big swing and miss on my part. And then the wild card teams, we're not going to talk about them.
Who were they?
Calgary and Seattle.
Oh, okay.
They both finished on 81 points. They were 17 points out. Not close.
Yeah, I was gonna say Seattle last year. I feel like it was crazy that they made it into the playoffs because was that their
first year?
That was their first year. I thought it was their second year.
No, it was first.
Okay, but yeah, that was crazy. It's crazy that both most recent expansion teams in both their first seasons have been able to make the playoffs.
Let's also say, though, as a caveat, just more of the hockey, no expansion teams have been set up as good as Vegas and Seattle have been.
Yeah.
They've been set up to be successful. And, Columbus really showed that you can't really just give teams a bunch of fourth-liners and want them to compete because Columbus was bad for a lot of their early years.
Yeah.
So, with the new expansion format has really made the league want these teams to be competitive from the beginning, which is good for the league.
And I've watched videos about how the expansion team process used to be, and the NHL basically screwed over any expansion teams until obviously now when it felt like, I guess you could say for a while the NHL was pretty stagnant on the teams they had, and now they've gotten 2 expansion teams, which now they're about to have a
Arizona
team move.
relocating.
Yeah, Arizona relocating. They're getting a new market in Utah.
I look at our notes from the All-Star break recap.
Mm-hmm.
In our notes, we talk about the Utah expansion being announced, and then Arizona as a possible relocation.
Yeah.
So that was. I'll take that.
Yeah, no, that was. Again, not being the closest to following hockey, I felt like just from being an outsider and looking in at the Arizona situation, this was going to happen. There was no doubt in our mind.
And it's
my
all
mind,
their owner's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for the fans. They didn't deserve that.
Oh, yeah,
the owner's fault and the league's fault for not stepping in.
Yeah, because when you have a professional...
If this was always going to be in the move, you should have done this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're allowing him in a 5-year time to potentially bring the team back, what makes you think this dude is going to change?
Yeah, exactly.
Owners that don't care about the team are awful
Yep.
for the league, for any league.
Exactly.
Shout out the Athletics. Save the Athletics.
No, I agree with you because I just remember when we would talk about how the Coyotes were playing in a college. Let me say that again. College hockey arena. What are you doing?
Mullet Arena is, I've heard, a great arena for college.
I'm not going to say that's bad, but
having an NHL game with 5,000 people.
Yeah,
criminal.
Yeah, I've been to NHL games mostly. I've been to Detroit. I've been to Buffalo.
It's criminal.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But if you can tell me that it's as good as an NHL stadium, but you can't hold as many people.
It's not.
It's
great
I think it's
for
a disrespect.
It is.
Yeah,
it's a disrespect to the franchise, to the organization, and to the fans.
And to the players.
Demoralizing.
Yeah.
You're playing in a small arena. You only have 2 levels.
And again, it's nothing these players it's not these players' fault.
No.
I mean, it's the owner, and it's like, if you don't care about your product, sell the team. Give it to someone who will.
Yeah.
Who actually wants. Don't see it as your plaything.
Exactly.
Like, no.
Or a lot of them see it as their cash cow because they just I know there are devoted fans who will pay the money to come and see them or to buy the merchandise and do all that. I think you said it was disrespect to the fans and everything like that. I think it's really disrespectful to the players because these guys are playing at a pro level. What percentage of people who play hockey make it to the NHL? Not a lot. The percentage is down there. And to have these guys either come up through the ranks, whether it be years or just being a really good hockey player and coming up and getting to the show, making them play in a college arena, it just seems like a disrespect.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that and everything, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But they're going to Utah. They're gonna get a nice arena, and hopefully they'll be on the up and up. And they don't even have a name yet, but whatever the former Coyotes do, hopefully, I would just wish them success.
I'm excited. I think the new ownership group in Utah, I think that's going to take off.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be real good.
Which isn't the owner group, one of the guys, Jazz. So yeah,
I think share an arena,
and they've been and the Jazz has been doing pretty good too. So I feel like
they have the fan base. Apparently, they've already have 20,000 ticket requests the first day, and I think they said. Vast majority of them are not Utah Jazz season ticket holders because they opened it up to them first, and they already announced 20,000 in a day, and majority of them aren't, which shows that they have. And you're only going to be competing with the Jazz, so you're not competing with a bunch of NFL teams or an NFL market in Utah.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty wide open right there.
So you can definitely, if you get some fans, you can have a rabid fan base.
Okay. Well, let's wrap up. Let's wrap up the Western Conference here, and we'll just like the East. Who was the biggest surprise here? Whether making it, not making it into the playoffs. Let's start with Gannon. Who do you think was your biggest surprise out of the West for you?
I think it's got to be the Kings.
Kings.
I didn't expect them to kind of take off like that.
Mm-hmm.
They had solid stretches here and there, but I thought that they were really up and down during the year.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of straightened it out, and they landed, number 3, I think, out of...
Third in the Pacific,
third. Yep. So I would say most them, so that'd have to be my pick, would be...
The Kings.
The Kings.
Jack?
For me, shocking would not really shocking, but kind of throw me off the page. It was Winnipeg.
Yeah.
They're the only team right now. They've given up less than 200 goals. They're at 199. Connor Hellebuck is playing as a Vezina Trophy winner, as a finalist. He's playing as the best goalie in the league, and you've seen it in playoffs. All you need is a hot goalie, and you can score 2 goals a game, and you'll make a run. If he keeps playing good, and that team plays good around him, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something in the offseason. People were afraid Winnipeg was going to kind of blow up. You know, they didn't sound really good in the locker room, but they locked in guys. Hellebuck re-signed. A few different players ended up staying that people thought would leave, and they've made it. I mean, they have a plus 60 goal differential, which is insane, and they're entering the playoffs on an 8-game winning streak. So
I was about to say.
Watch out for that, Colorado. That'll be Winnipeg against Colorado.
That's
in the first round will be a very great series.
Yep. Those are some good picks there. I will agree with Jack. The Winnipeg Jets were definitely a surprise to me. So we've talked about it. Jack, 500. Batting 500 on picks. That's not bad. That's good. If
I played MLB, I'd be in a Hall of Famer. That's how we're going to look at it.
500.
I'd be a Hall of Famer in Major League Baseball.
I was going to say, well, for next year, let's maybe do one better.
Honestly, 50% in hockey is good because I feel like hockey is the league that has the most parity. You don't really know who's going to be kind of especially fighting out for those last few spots. So I'll take 50%.
Absolutely.
Sure. I'll take that.
So we've talked about his preseason picks. He came up 50%. That's pretty darn good. Well, let's talk about the playoffs now. This is gonna be fun. Well, let's make some. What I was gonna say. I don't know if you want to make predictions or who do you think.
Before we get to playoffs,
okay.
I just have another fun fact. So the Art Ross Trophy every year goes to the highest the player with the most points in the league, right?
Yeah.
In 2014, a player for Dallas by the name of Jamie Benn won that award scoring 87 points in 2014. In this year, if you took this year's numbers and put them in that year, the top 20, there would be 20 players in the league that have more points than he does.
Jeez.
That he did when he had that. Yep, 20. Leading the way, of course, Kucherov, 144. Putting up numbers we've never seen.
That's crazy.
That's just a funny story or funny fact I love to bring up.
That's a good fact.
Just shows the anomaly of one year and scoring's really jumped.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean,
is that sorry, I don't want to cut. Is that I guess that'll take me into this question then. Is more scoring? It's obviously more entertaining to see the puck go in the net. Do you think more scoring helps the sport? Does it make it harder for the players?
It helps grow the sport because if you want to get casuals or new people in there, scoring is good. It also increases the level of play that players need to be at. But also, on the flip side, you got to remember, come playoff time, teams with a good defense normally still come up. So it's kind of just finding a balance where what is enough scoring to keep the league interesting without blowing it up out of the water where it just feels like you have to score 4 goals a game just to win games instead of 3 or 2.
I don't know.
I think again it goes back to what we were talking about with Boston, where if you have a good goalie who's making saves, you're going to pay decent money to keep him. Goalies and good defensemen are worth premiums because defense is still, the important thing.
So that was going to bring me my second part of the question was, so there's more scoring, obviously everyone more entertaining. Does it make it harder to find those good goalies? Because I feel like you could have a goalie give up maybe 1 or 2 goals back in the day. Like you wanted them to give up 0 goals. Now you feel like you could they can let maybe 2 in and you can still win the game. Is it relaxed? I feel like, does it make the league a little more relaxed on goalies? Or
for me growing up, you would always say if you want your starting goalie in the NHL to have around a 920 save percentage, around a sub 2, maybe a high 1 goals against average. Where now you're okay with your starter if he gets a 900 and is like 2.5 just because of how high scoring the league is.
Yeah.
And it's so just the standards you're holding goalies to is different. Where also, I mean, teams are now way more willing to play their backup 30, 35 games a year. Where if your backup played 20 games in a season, that would be crazy when I was younger. Where now you see a lot more teams following, like Boston, like other teams they'll play guys, they'll split it 45, 38, whatever. Like they have their starter play more of the games, but he's not playing 60 games. He's not maybe playing only 50 a year. So it's the workload you're putting on goalies is a lot less.
Yeah.
And that helps when you get to the playoffs because they're still getting the reps. They're still getting in the game, but they're not getting overworked. Their knees aren't blowing out. They're not having ankle problems. So it really helps with the longevity of them as well.
Yeah. Not just in the season, but future years. Sure. Of course, yeah.
So, okay. I was going to say, good facts, good talks there. Let's just talk. We don't have to go through every matchup because obviously, this, just so everyone knows, this episode will probably be coming out by the time
first round
will probably be over. Let me look at my calendar just because this will be May 8th. So
first round might already be done.
It'll probably be over. But let's talk about maybe Final Four. Let's go. Two. Who's going to be the last two teams remaining in the East? Who's going to come out of the East, and it's going to be the showdown for the Eastern Conference. Who we got
for the East?
This is so.
I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna have to. I think it's gonna be the Rangers against the. I think whoever wins the Boston-Toronto series would win that second round. I think it'll be the Rangers against Toronto.
Rangers.
I think Boston will lose first round. I think that series is going 7 against Toronto. Gotcha. This could be another classic.
Well, it's so even. The last 16 times they've played, they're 500.
Exactly.
So
it's going to be it's going to be great.
It is going to be a great series. I'm kind of nervous though. I'm not going to lie.
Boston Toronto against New York will be my pick in the East.
Gannon, who do you think? I was going to say I'm going to really think about mine. Not that my take will be any intellectual ideas or actually make sense, but who do you think is going to be the two facing off for the East?
I think it's going to be Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Interesting.
Andrei Vasilevsky, he can put some pressure on, and just like we've seen in 20 and 21, he can knock the lights out.
Yeah, you just give up one goal. That must be real nice having the best goalie in the league or one of them.
Yeah, it's just what he did and them two. I think he's still trying to say that he's relevant. And I guess the whole team. I mean, whole Tampa Bay as a whole.
Stamkos is coming up. This could be their kind of last run with a lot of their core guys. So, why not? I mean, and then you have you pair him with Coach Cooper. He obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows how to navigate playoffs better than anyone.
He's seen a thing or two.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, there's a reason they've won all those cups, and it wasn't just the players. He's an amazing coach.
I think, to me, the most entertaining Eastern Conference final for me that I would 100% watch every game of would be if it was between Boston and New York Rangers. Like, it's just two original six teams, and I feel like just New York and Boston don't like each other, and I feel like it would be good hockey. It'd just be hard not to say that wouldn't be would be a really good matchup to see. But yeah, no, that's my pick. We'll get to who's going to play in the Cup final, but let's talk about the West. Who's coming? Who's going to fight? Who are the two teams that are going to fight it out to represent the West?
They burned me last year, but I'm going to go right back to them. It's going to be Edmonton and Colorado. I'm all in on Edmonton now. I'm all in on Edmonton. Edmonton, Colorado. Colorado, I mean, they have the depth. I mean, they have the Cup pedigree. They can. I mean, you got to beat Winnipeg, which is going to be tough. You hope Hellebuck is maybe on an off game. Maybe the playoffs get to him. So you'll have to steal one in Winnipeg, which will be tough. Yeah. But that's okay. And then Edmonton, you get the Kings. You beat them. Match up against Vancouver, Nashville. You just ride Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and you hope Stuart Skinner can keep just playing.
Yeah.
Doesn't lose you a game.
Oh, yeah.
You just need him to keep you in a game and let your stars go to work because they got some studs there.
Oh, yeah.
They actually, for the first time in Edmonton, have players that contribute outside of their big two, which is real big. So, Edmonton, Colorado.
Edmonton, Colorado for the Western Conference, according to Jack. Gannon.
See, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Really, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie.
Good start.
But I want to be a little bit different, and I just think this Dallas team.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say Dallas and Edmonton.
Ooh, Dallas, Edmonton. Okay. No, keep going. No, you're good. You're good.
I am going with Vegas because you can tell me it's just because I'm a Vegas fan I think
it is.
But Vegas,
Yes, it is.
Vegas has been getting healthy. I feel like they can go on a tear here and get through the first couple rounds, beat some tough teams, and make it to the Western Conference Final. They will most likely, to me, will be probably playing. I was going to say Edmonton because and here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'll just skip to the Cup Finals, just because Vegas is going to get to the Western Conference Final. They're not winning. I'm going to tell you they're going to stall out. They're going to catch fire in the first two rounds. They'll get to the conference final. They won't make it. They won't make it past there. I think this year it's going to be Edmonton's going to get there. They're going to play spoiler to the Rangers, and I think Connor McDavid gets his cup. That's how I feel. I've been scared of Edmonton the past couple years when Vegas has made it, and it's Edmonton's time. Take that as you will. That's what I believe.
I don't want to go back to goaltenders.
One thing we didn't forget about Vegas was all their players magically getting healthy right before playoffs. So we got to remember that part.
It's funny how you can turn the salary cap around. Use LTIR.
Magically, Mark Stone is back in practice a week before playoffs.
Too bad they don't have minimum games for playoffs.
Yeah. Magically, Mark Stone appears in a red non-contact sweater 2 weeks before the end of the year. Bookmark the tweet first week of April. Put it on notifications every year. Mark Stone returning from LTIR.
Hey, you just got to show up in the playoffs. That's where it matters.
Dude, you've been a team 6 years. You can't say that.
We have a cup. We have a cup, though.
Cool. Everyone has a cup. That's important has a cup.
Not everyone.
Everyone who's important has more than one.
Okay, well, we're trying to get another one. We're working on it, as you can tell. That's why we made playoffs. Okay, Gannon, who do you think is going to be fighting for the cup? Who's going to come out with it?
So, I think Edmonton, and for some reason,
Edmonton versus it's either I was going to say
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
I don't want to say it, but I think I'm gonna ride them the whole way.
Edmonton, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
that's a great cup.
That's crazy.
I just don't. I don't think that Boston or Toronto has a spot or has a chance if Tampa Bay beats Florida because they are gonna get a lot of heat when they beat Florida.
Yeah. All right. Jack.
I'm picking Colorado and the Rangers. We're going to party like it's the 1990s in New York. New York Rangers are winning a cup.
New York, okay.
They're winning the cup.
Yeah. I agree with that. I like that pick too.
Messier's guarantee they're running it back.
Messier's
They have the players.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Adam Fox, if you're a gambling person, if you think the Rangers are going to go far, Adam Fox for Conn Smythe.
Oh.
He's like top 5 point scorer on their team, which is what you need. Plays a lot of their times. You could be playing against the top players. If you think the Rangers can go far, Adam Fox would be a good Conn Smythe pick.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go Mika Zibanejad if that happens.
There's only like 3 of them that could do it on each team, but those are some good ones. Okay. I'm sorry to get
No, that was fine.
I just saw like
like
2
that.
tweets about it, and I went down a rabbit
Adam
hole.
Fox.
And
Yeah.
the more I read, I'm like, this makes sense. If they make it far, he can do it.
Jack also, if you don't know, is our
Subpar gambler.
he's
Very
our resident
subpar.
better gambler.
Subpar.
He has taken a slight timeout from that after March Madness. We're not going to talk about why, but
Yep, we'll keep it at that. No comments at this time.
no comments at this time. But no,
A lot of red. A lot of
yeah.
red.
So, but you can mark that down. We got one for Edmonton to win the cup. We got one for New York to win the cup, and we got one for the Lightning. I'm excited. Playoff hockey time. Anything can happen. I definitely
It's my favorite time of the year.
I definitely got proved that last year. Most likely when I post that this episode's coming out, it'll be a picture of me down in Florida holding my Vegas flag under a Florida Panthers
Guy
banner.
wins one cup and doesn't
Hey!
shut up. Oh my god.
You want to know something even worse? I bought a jersey that says Champions 23
Of
on
course you
it.
did.
Oh my god.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I did. Because
Look
I
at
just
us.
want to wear it
Hey,
around you. so
We
you
act
can be
like we've
mad.
been there before. We've been there before. We know what it's
I-
like.
Couple times.
I'm sorry.
Couple times, yeah. It's
Sorry,
nice.
sorry I got into hockey later than both of you.
Okay, Carolina's
they're the favorite right now?
Interesting.
Okay. Sean,
I was shocked by
yeah,
that.
Sean, if you hit the red button. Yep. That one.
Hello, fellas. I'm behind the camera.
Yeah, Sean's
Just Googled it. Carolina is the favorite at plus 600, with the Oilers and Rangers being tied for 4th at plus 800.
okay. Who's the longest shot actually? But I kind of want to know that.
Washington.
Yeah, I bet
They
it's
have a
Washington.
minus
That
37
would be
goal
bad.
differential.
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, so yes,
They had the-
Washington. So the second lowest. Who's the second lowest?
Second
me see
lowest.
this.
Who do you think the second lowest
Tampa
is?
Bay.
No,
No,
Nashville.
No, don't
I
say
bet
it.
it's
Don't say it.
Nashville.
Don't say
Nashville.
it yet. Don't say it yet.
Nashville's third lowest.
Okay.
The
Tampa Bay's fifth
Islanders.
lowest. Yes. The Islanders are
Because
second.
of their path.
Oh,
Yes.
gotcha.
The Islanders are second.
Their
are the
path.
second.
They have to beat Carolina, who
Yep.
are the favorite.
Yep.
Then probably the Rangers, and then one of Florida, Tampa, Boston, or Toronto. Their path is
okay.
really hard.
Yes. Might throw $5 on that.
The Islanders
'cause.
have the second
Don't.
longest
I'm
shot
gonna
at
just
plus
save you money. Don't.
at plus 5,500.
Yeah, don't.
And the Capitals have the worst at plus 18,000.
The Capitals had the worst
Yeah.
goal differential to make the playoffs since 1991.
Yep,
Minus
minus
37.
37.
That's
Yep.
Yep.
wild.
No. Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
Charlie Lindgren.
I thought it was only 32.
Nope.
I thought it was only
Nope.
minus
Well,
32.
yeah, because
Yep. Nope.
the Islanders' goal differential is minus 17, but everyone else who made the playoffs were in the positives. It was, the Capitals and the Islanders were the only ones with negative differentials.
And they got rid of Vanacek,
Vanacek, yeah.
and then they thought it was going to get better, and then they just fell
They
off.
somehow made playoffs.
Then I think
Dude,
clawed back.
hold on. As a Bruins fan, maybe you'll get this because we're both in the Atlantic. It must be real nice in the Metro qualifying with like 90 points, huh?
Yeah.
Being the third divisional spot. That must be real great.
Meanwhile,
in the Atlantic, the third spot's like 105 points.
yeah.
Like-
You have to get in.
You have to
dang
get
near
50
the 100.
You have to get 50 points to get a division spot.
Yeah,
You have to get 50 wins.
50 wins. Yeah, you have to get at least 100 points.
It must be so great being in the Metro, dude.
Well, and you look at all the teams, and
Well, and
it kind
so,
of
like,
kind of
'cause-
adds up.
So like now for next, I'm again Wings fan, not in playoffs, so I'm already looking out for next year. I mean, Florida, Toronto, Boston, Detroit, Tampa. Two of those teams have to be in at least wild card next year. So Detroit will probably be one of them. And then who out of those? Boston, Tampa, Toronto, and Florida. I mean, those teams are four of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I think Boston
That's
will be the
crazy.
one that misses the
it's
ship.
just-
I hate to be that fan, but Allmark's gonna be gone this summer, and I think so will most of the third line.
Sean, you're a Flyers fan. Do you want to just contribute to how did the end of your season go?
Awful. No, it was. I mean, going on that 0-7 run was not ideal for the fellas. Let me tell you.
We went 2-9. We were right there with you.
That's fair. Yeah,
Right
yeah.
there with you.
As they said earlier, nobody wanted to win that division.
No.
Nobody wanted to win that wild card spot.
I think that there were. I've seen different screenshots before their losing streaks of the Wings in the playoffs by 10 points, and then the Flyers in your spot by like 9 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun while it was lasting.
The Flyers were up there, and then they started doing what every Philly team does at the very end and starts to tank. I mean, like, you know, all things considered, though, like, we had no, like, I'm even
You had
shocked.
no business
No,
even
we had no
there, so,
business
like,
even
this is-
getting. How many wins did we have? 38.
Hold
Maybe.
on.
We didn't have a lot.
38. Yep.
Yeah,
you were at
so
38.
We had 38 wins. Frankly, I'm shocked we got over 30, considering everything that went on throughout the season that I'm not going to talk about, as well as like preseason stuff. You know, we lost almost everybody. Torts benched Sean Couturier, which was kind of funny.
That's insane.
Dude,
That's
it's just
dude.
Torts, man. It's just
Why
Torts.
not?
Torts does the weirdest things, but yeah, it was tough. It was tough to listen to. It was tough to watch. I'll never forget coming home sometimes after, you know, maybe I'll go drinking or something like that at a bar, and I'll come home and, you know, my dad's got the Flyers on ESPN Plus. Second I walk in the door, shut the door, lock the door, deadbolt, whatever. Flyers suck. It's like, yeah, sounds about right. Welcome to Philly sports, I guess. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was tough, but we had no business being there. And considering this was our quote unquote rebuild year,
So,
it's going to be incredible.
So this is just my question for you as my therapy, okay? The last game 82, were you even watching that game or no?
No,
Fuck.
I watched highlights
Oh my god.
and saw Twitter the next morning.
So when I messaged you like being pissed, did you know what I was
I
referring to?
did know about it. Yes, I did know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Wait, when you saw the Flyers highlights, did you also see the Wings highlights too? Okay.
I did not see the Wings
Because
highlight.
that
I did see I saw the final goal with 3 seconds left.
Yeah,
Did
that,
see that
just hurt. That
Yeah.
just, I mean, just
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
combination of the, like, there was someone on Wings Twitter made a time. It was like 9:33. Perron
Yep.
scores 9:34. Flyers pull the goalie. Like not even 90 seconds later. So that just, I mean, going from the high of that to that. I mean,
To be fair, I was watching. I had the Flyers game on one TV, and then I was playing video games on another one, and I had my phone set for the Red Wings, and I just remember looking at the Flyers game. I'm like, well, the Flyers are losing. I don't think it matters. The Red Wings aren't going to win. And then I just see the goals start ticking off my phone. I'm like, no way. And then it shows tied with 3 seconds. I just sat there. I'm
You know
like,
what? So,
Jack is going to lose his mind.
I was. So this.
I was
goes out,
thinking about you the entire
So
time.
I saw. What was very funny and made it hurt even more is this played out exactly like so. So Elliot Friedman, one of the leading hockey insiders, posted a tweet earlier that day and said, "Interesting wrinkle for the last game tonight, but in the East, Flyers need a win in regulation. So if they're tied with the Capitals, you know, with 4 minutes to go, do they pull the goalie? Question mark. Thus, you know, letting the Capitals qualify with an empty net goal." And I'm like, this would be funny. This is my worst nightmare. And then what happened? Not even 7 hours later, my worst nightmare happened. It just so happened that my team scored 3 seconds to go.
Yeah.
So that made it that much worse.
I think we can all agree, though, that thank God that the Penguins didn't make it.
Well, yeah.
would've
I
been
think
Thank
everyone
God
agrees.
that
If the Penguins would have made it
over.
over Detroit
Everyone.
after the ending Detroit
Yeah.
had to that season, I would have been very mad.
Well, I have a you know, a hometown thing to always hate any Pittsburgh team. So yeah, thank God that the Penguins didn't make it, because by God they also did not deserve to be there.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
well, look at us. Looking forward to next year already. We're getting ahead of. Hey, they aren't going to be ready for us. We're 2 months ahead of them already. They aren't ready.
Rebuild year.
Yeah, they ain't ready for us.
Don't look at the fact that we lost Cutter Gauthier or whatever his last name is because he didn't like our city. Don't look at that.
was
Jamie
a-
Drysdale's
that was
electric.
That was another part of that. Your Flyer season that was interesting. That news just kind of dropped out of nowhere.
Or the fact that Samuel Ersson played like, I don't know, 50% of our games with a rotating third goalie, and then all of a sudden this 6'8" dude from Russia comes in. He's like, "Hello, I am 6'8". I beat you now." Yeah, he scares me.
Well,
Don't worry, the Wings 6'7" goalies coming in the pipe in the prospects. Get ready.
All right,
We're ready for tall
prediction:
goalies.
Flyers and Wings top 2 in the East next year.
next.
Wait,
okay.
no,
Write
give me
that
2
down.
years with 6'7" and a 6'6" goalies.
Sorry.
Just get ready.
2 years.
Get ready.
Top 2 in the league.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, I feel like we've covered it.
Thank you for waiting. I needed
No
that.
problem.
I just needed to
no,
get
you're
that
good.
out.
Hey, man,
It's
you
been a
make this
long few days.
You make this a lot more entertaining. If it was just me sitting here talking about hockey, no one would watch this episode. Trust me. But yeah, that's it. We got our predictions in. Gannon, thank you again for coming on. Jack, as always happy to have you.
Always a great time.
Preseason, midseason, and playoffs next year. You're welcome to come back because, again, I feel like a brick wall when Jack talks about hockey. I try to absorb what he tells me for the most part, and I give information where I can. But again, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Great time.
But before we start wrapping up, can you tell us a little about your podcast that you're doing with your buddies and everything like that?
So me and my one cousin, we started this podcast, the Whole Shots and Breakaways podcast. Just kind of touching news. We do drag racing, dirt racing, NASCAR, truck series. Anything that has an engine that goes fast, pretty much talk about it. The same thing with hockey. We go all the way from Junior A all the way to NHL. Mm-hmm. We go a little bit overseas. Nice. We really like talking about like jerseys. Kind of we do like a jersey talk where we kind of.
Have you talked about the DEL in Germany? Their jerseys, those are some. Look up the DEL in Germany.
I'll have to,
for jerseys.
So that's just kind of we just kind of hop on there for an hour and 20 minutes, and just kind of we do it Monday and Fridays. So anything that happens during the week, you can do it on Friday, and then anything that happens over the weekend, you can do it on Monday. Kind of cover the whole week, and we'll kind of fall off once the playoffs and hockey stop, and then it'll kind of go more towards racing as it gets nicer in summer, and then we'll
so you release. Sorry, not to cut. I was just you release one every week or what day? I was gonna say
Monday and Friday. So technically twice, but it depends how you look at the
gotcha.
week. Sometimes they're like a Tuesday and maybe like a Saturday if we get a free minute, or like
or if something big happens.
Yeah, we did it with the Arizona when Ryan Smith finally got approved to buy the team. That's when we hopped
an
on
emergency podcast. Gotcha.
Yeah,
very cool.
So kind of, and my work schedule isn't always the greatest. So kind of working late and stuff like that. Cool. So kind of do it when we can, and just kind of a little side gig. So
definitely very cool.
Absolutely,
sounds really interesting.
I'll make sure when this video gets posted, and I'll post on our social medias, let people where to find you. I know you have a Facebook. Do you have any other social medias, or just is it Facebook?
We just started a YouTube, but it's just Facebook, and we're gonna be starting like an Instagram to do like reels and stuff.
Nice.
So we're gonna hopefully be expanding.
Very cool.
I'll make sure we'll put your links in the description on YouTube, and I'll post it on our Facebook.
Awesome.
Make sure so people check you out. I know I was surprised when I saw you post. I'm just like, he's on a podcast. He's got to come over to my podcast now and talk a little bit. No,
don't worry, guys. I don't have a podcast. So I'm not as cool as
this
them.
This is his podcast.
I am not as cool as them.
When he comes to his hockey episodes, this is Jack's podcast for the day.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to come back for preseason, and we'll all do predictions and.
Yeah. So, I'm down to come talk about NASCAR because I was gonna say I like watching hockey, but until football season starts, I usually am just following NASCAR and F1. That's my jam for all my weekends. But
see, I'm not big into NASCAR, so I'm more like the dirt car and the drag racing. So
did you check out the episode that I had with Steve?
I did.
That was fun. That was honestly, that episode was my dream episode to have him and Brad on. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen that episode and you like dirt track racing, I recommend you go check that out.
Lots of cool stories, and like Dad when he was kind of helping in the pits with Steve. That's what I actually right before I left work to come here. I turned that on for Dad because he wanted to listen to it. I was kind of telling him about it, so I turned it on and let him listen to it. So I'm curious to see what he thinks about it. So.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for being on. Well, Jack, you know what time it is. We, as tradition, we end the episode by picking a question from the question jar. And Gannon, go for it.
I was going to say Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon can pick. Your brother has a few questions in there. I know he does. I put them in there. But
he had one before.
Yeah, he did.
He had.
Is there a name on the end of that? Just if there's not.
Nope.
No. Okay, cool. It's just one of the ones I created. Then this should be fun.
Do you believe in cryptids, ghosts, or aliens? Why or why not?
Sean, you need to get in on this.
Yeah, no, I was already going to tell Sean. Sean gets to be in on this conversation. It's quick. So, anyone got a question to the question? Yeah,
so cryptids know I'm a big alien guy.
big alien?
Because so this is my thinking on it. Is like the universe is massive, huge, right?
Yeah.
The idea that this is the only planet that has life anywhere is so astronomically small, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there has to be life somewhere else, not here. Maybe they're not, E.T., maybe it's like some microorganisms, some like small guys, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, there's no way this is the only planet that has life on it. Can't be, right? Can't be.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that. I'll say I do believe in aliens. Cryptids, it's a more hit or miss basis.
Cryptids like Bigfoot,
like Bigfoot and Loch
like
Ness Monster. Like there are some
Gotcha.
that like it makes sense. It depends on the region where you're talking. So I'd say I'm wishy-washy. Ghosts, I 100% believe in ghosts. Have I ever seen one? No. I just watch a ton of ghost shows, and I feel like there's just a lot of stories and things that I've heard that it makes it hard not to believe that ghosts are real. Cryptids, I feel like, can take a back seat to aliens and ghosts. Aliens, ghosts, to me, 100%, they're real.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. I can't agree more. The cryptids, I don't believe in that.
Don't believe in Mothman?
That type of stuff,
The
but-
Chupacabra?
Bro, if they were real, how come all the pictures are an iPhone 5 camera, dude? Like, come on, can we not get better photography
Because
of these pictures?
it's the craziest people who are getting these videos. That's why. They haven't. I was gonna say they probably took the videos with a Razor phone. What do you mean iPhone?
But like,
It was like a BlackBerry.
yeah, like it's these like 3 pixels, and we're taking videos of this.
yeah,
Come on.
they don't have the
people.
money to get cameras like I got.
Well, it's not even that. Your phone camera's better than what I've seen some.
But they're in the middle of nowhere, and
Yeah.
they think that this like BlackBerry or iPhone 5 is gonna have enough service to get them out of there. So what happens if a Sasquatch actually does pop out? Then what do you do?
Yeah,
I guess it's
that's
just your
fair.
time.
Fair, Sean, you want to jump on in here?
This is terrible. Aliens, absolutely.
My guy.
Yeah.
There's again, as Jack said, hell, we still don't even know anything about like our own planet. We don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So like, there's got to be another place somewhere that just has something. Right now, are they going to get anywhere close to us in my lifetime?
No.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, no, I'm scared.
I
of
feel like
aliens.
so. Funny enough, I saw a Reddit post earlier today. We're going to Reddit real quick,
boy.
where they said that if the aliens were studying us, they would drop bombs on Poland because that just seems like tradition to start war.
What?
Yeah, it was something weird. Anyway,
Gotta love Reddit.
I love Reddit. Aliens, yes. Cryptids, I believe in the Loch Ness monster.
Okay, this guy.
Mainly because of scientific evidence that
yeah.
portrays that there's something there. I don't think it's as crazy as they think it is. Anything else? No. Maybe Sasquatch. I don't know. My parents like fully believe in Sasquatch, and I think that's the funniest thing in the world to me. And ghosts, absolutely not. That is fake science.
Okay.
Scientific method doesn't exist with ghosts.
I should expand on my aliens thing. I'm scared of aliens, but I also have great respect for them. Like, if they stay over there in alien world, we stay here. No crossing, like we good. We respect them. They respect us.
It's not going to be like the South Park pilot episode.
No. No, but it's like they stay over there. We stay here. We respect each other. Respect games, Like we respect their game. They respect
Real
ours.
respect's real.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if aliens do come, and they ask for our leader, who do we send?
We send Jack. Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Elon
Fair
Musk.
That's fair.
Or
Bro,
we send him one of their own. We send him Mark Zuckerberg.
He's a robot.
No, he's a lizard.
He's a
Whatever.
Get it
robot.
right. Although he apparently
Alien
just downloaded
lizard
the human
brother.
update because he looks
That's
kind
a-
of real now.
Hey,
boy.
hey. I hate to be that guy, but that was an AI picture of him. No, that wasn't real. I don't want to be that guy, but yeah. it was
I just
AI.
saw it this morning. So
Okay.
Were you saying with like the mustache?
yeah,
Yeah, that was
the
AI.
mustache full beard.
That was AI.
Okay, well
Yeah.
that tracks then.
Okay. Well, you can take what Sean said. He has multiple degrees.
Not
and
yet.
Must be the smartest guy.
Hold on. In 2 weeks I will.
And 2 weeks. He'll
2
be
weeks I will.
I want to be the first one to congratulate you.
Yeah, congratulations.
I want it known for the record I was before Grohl.
That's fair. I do graduate on Cinco de Mayo, which is lethal
Oh
for
my
my liver.
Nice.
That's even better. Well, if you've lasted this long, listening or watching, thank you very much. Make sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Check out our Facebook and X. Thank you. I hope you see you on the next one.